Throughout history, the world has witnessed acts of violence that have left society reeling. But when these acts are committed by teenagers, the shock is magnified. Today, we explore the cases of five teen killers whose actions shocked their communities and beyond. Number 1. Gabriel Parker. January 23rd, 2018 was an ordinary day that turned into a nightmare for the students of Marshall County High School in Benton, Kentucky. Gabriel Parker, a 15-year-old sophomore, walked into the school armed with a handgun and began firing into a crowded atrium as students were preparing for classes. Within moments, chaos erupted. Students screamed and ran for cover, some dragging their wounded classmates to safety. Two students, Bailey Holt and Preston Cope, were fatally shot. Bailey died on the scene after trying to call her mother, while Preston succumbed to his injuries shortly after. In addition to those lost, 14 others suffered gunshot wounds, some life-altering. Gabriel Parker was quickly apprehended by law enforcement. In the months that followed, the community grappled with the question, why did this happen? Investigations revealed that Parker had been planning the attack for months. He reportedly watched videos of the Columbine High School shooting and other similar incidents, expressing a fascination with the chaos they caused. While Parker's defense pointed to his age and potential mental health issues, claiming he struggled with depression, prosecutors countered that he showed no remorse and was fully aware of his actions. Parker was ultimately sentenced to life in prison, with a possibility of parole after 20 years, but the scars left on the victims and the community will last a lifetime. Interviews with families of the victims highlight the lingering pain and their calls for tighter gun control and mental health resources. Number 2. Derek and Alex King. November 26, 2001, marked a night of unimaginable betrayal. Derek and Alex King, just 13 and 12 years old, brutally killed their father, Terry King, while he slept in their Florida home. The boys used a baseball bat, striking him multiple times before setting the house on fire to cover their tracks. The King brothers were initially portrayed as cold and calculating. However, as the case unfolded, it became clear that their story was more complicated. The boys claimed they had been living in fear of their father's strict discipline and physical punishments. Enter Ricky Chavis, a 40-year-old friend of the boys who harbored them after the murder. Chavis's involvement muddied the waters, as he was accused of manipulating the brothers into the act and later found guilty of child molestation related to the case. The trial was filled with shocking revelations. The defense argued that Chavis had a significant influence over the boys and had coerced them into the murder, though Chavis denied involvement. Ultimately, both brothers were convicted of third-degree murder and served time in juvenile detention facilities before being released in their late teens. The King brothers' case raised important questions about juvenile justice and rehabilitation. It showcased the vulnerability of young individuals to external influences and the difficulty in discerning the full story when multiple conflicting accounts are at play. Number 3. James Fairweather. In 2014, the town of Colchester, Essex, experienced a wave of fear when two gruesome murders shocked residents. James Fairweather, just 15 years old at the time, was behind these brutal attacks. His first victim, James Atfield, was a father of 5 who was found with 102 stab wounds. The second, Nahid Al-Manea, a Saudi student, was similarly attacked while walking a popular trail. The killings left investigators baffled for months. Fairweather managed to evade detection, largely due to his quiet demeanor and the lack of direct evidence linking him to the scenes. However, in May 2015, police caught him planning a third attack. He was found with gloves and a knife, confessing to the previous murders upon arrest. Fairweather claimed he was driven by voices that commanded him to kill. He was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, which added layers of complexity to the case. During the trial, it was debated whether his mental illness should mitigate the severity of his punishment. Ultimately, his confession and the sheer brutality of his crimes led to a life sentence with a minimum term of 27 years. The murders left a deep wound in Colchester. The case not only highlighted the terrifying potential of undiagnosed mental illnesses in youth, but also exposed cracks in how communities identify and address warning signs in troubled teens. Number 4. Aiden Fucci. Mother's Day. 2021 began with shock for the Bailey family in St. Johns County, Florida. 13-year-old Tristan Bailey was reported missing that morning, only for her body to be discovered later that day in a wooded area, stabbed 114 times. Her killer? Aiden Fucci, a 14-year-old classmate. Fucci's arrest gained widespread attention when he posted disturbing selfies from the back of a police car with captions like, "Hey guys, has anybody seen Tristan?" These images painted a chilling picture of a teen detached from the gravity of his actions. Classmates later testified that Fucci had spoken about wanting to kill someone in the weeks leading up to the crime. Prosecutors argued that the level of violence indicated premeditation, and Fucci was charged as an adult with first-degree murder. Despite his young age, the evidence against him was overwhelming. His DNA was found at the scene, and he made several incriminating statements. In 2023, Fucci was sentenced to life in prison. The Bailey family's victim impact statements left the courtroom in silence, describing the immense pain of losing a daughter in such a brutal manner. The community rallied around the family, establishing memorials and raising awareness about youth violence. Number 5. Gavin Ramsey. April 6, 2018, was a day of horror in Smithville, Ohio, when the body of 98-year-old Margaret Douglas was discovered. The culprit was Gavin Ramsey, a 17-year-old who harbored a disturbing fascination with death. Ramsey broke into Douglas's home late at night, assaulted her, and suffocated her using plastic bags before taking macabre photos of the crime. Ramsey's arrest came swiftly after police connected him to the scene using surveillance footage and DNA evidence. Further investigation revealed that Ramsey had shown warning signs leading up to the murder, including alarming internet searches and confessions to peers about his violent interests. Despite his defense claiming he could be rehabilitated, Ramsey's complete lack of remorse and the brutality of the act convinced the judge to sentence him to life without parole. He expressed no emotion as the sentence was read, leaving many to question how such dark tendencies could manifest in someone so young. The town of Smithville was left grappling with grief and disbelief. The case emphasized the importance of recognizing warning signs in young individuals and the need for effective intervention strategies. These cases remind us of the haunting reality that violence knows no age. They highlight the urgency for communities to be vigilant, prioritize mental health, and provide support to prevent such tragedies from ever occurring. While the legal system seeks justice, the true challenge lies in healing and ensuring the safety and well-being of everyone. Stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next one.